The 1967 Spider-Man cartoon is amazing and strange and weird and wonderful, and that's what we're going to talk about today. This cartoon's probably most famous for the theme song, which I'm not going to sing here, but it's the one we all know, talking about the things that a spider can and can't do. You know the one. It's perfect. It's awesome, and I love it so much. This series starts off a little stronger than it ends, I would say, because when it starts, you get characters like the Green Goblin, Electro, Mysterio, Dr. Octopus, the Lizard, and some of them even have loose adaptations of their comic origins or just another issue. Some of them are brand new stories, though. Some of them are very weird stories. The Green Goblin, I feel like they injected a lot of magic into him instead of just being like a gangster with a cool mask. So you do get a lot of the classic rogues in the beginning. You don't really get much of Peter's supporting cast. What you get is J. Jonah Jameson and Betty Brant, which is awesome. Betty Brant was his original love interest, and it's cool that she got some representation there. You know, in 67, I don't know. Mary Jane probably would have just been introduced. The Rhino's in this, so as we talked about on the Romita episode, I mean, she would have been around, but she would have been pretty new, probably not really aware how big of a character she would become. And as for Gwen, she would have been around for, well, maybe a year before MJ, something like that, issue 30-ish or the late 20s compared to 41. So it's kind of interesting she's not in there. No, I don't even think you get Norman Osborn. I think when it's the Green Goblin, it's just the Green Goblin. One of my friends once said they thought that the Green Goblin was just a real goblin. But I haven't watched enough of the episodes recently to confirm or deny that. What I love is how silly and campy and like set in the 60s it is. It has that, you know, hand-drawn animation style that just feels very, very cozy for me at least. I remember watching these on Cartoon Network when I was a kid, and sometimes they'd be on just late at night. So it wasn't always the easiest thing to find, but I really enjoyed them when I could. And I think especially if you got an episode with a classic villain, it was really a lot of fun to watch because there's more episodes without classic villains than villains. This show gets weird. Like, it gets very 60s trippy, fantasy. I don't even know how to I don't know any of the villain names that they created. I think maybe one or two of them have shown up in a comic book, but really not a lot. It's not like one of those situations where the Superman radio series created like Lois and Jimmy, I think, and made that he could fly instead of leap, and, you know, further media really took to that. I don't think that's been the case with this, and I don't know if it's a rights issue. This is also very hard to find streaming. I don't think in America it's streaming anywhere. I think you might be able to find it some places. I don't know about in other countries. I don't know if they put it just like on Tubi. I don't know if it still airs on TV or not. I got this DVD box set in probably 2004, yeah, when Spider-Man 2 was coming out, and I'm glad I still have it. I'm sure it goes for a pretty penny nowadays on eBay, but it was a pretty nice box set. I mean, it comes out here, and you get a little booklet with just, I think, oh, okay, it looks like a little Stan Lee forward and then an episode guide. What's on this last page? Oh, just credits, the theme song, lyrics. But yeah, it's pretty nice packaging. So if you could find this on eBay, I actually recommend it. Oops, sorry. Because it is nice, and it's not like even if there was like a 4K of these things, they're not going to look that much better than they probably look on the DVD, to be honest with you. So really glad I got that. And this has this cool little in color thing there. I don't really have a favorite episode. It would definitely be something with the villains. Occasionally what I'll do is like when Mysterio was in Spider-Man Far From Home, I would read Mysterio comics and watch the Mysterio episodes of cartoons. So that's usually when I'll break something like this out, which is a big reason why I don't watch the weird episodes at the end. Maybe I should do something like that. Maybe do like a watch through review thing. It could be fun. Hey, real quick, I wrote a comic book. It's called Treasure of the Mystic Hearts. It's a fun fantasy adventure. Starts with treasure hunts and then gets wrapped up with demon cults and monsters and magic weapons. It's got a lot of heart and got a lot of humor. It's good for kids. It's good for adults. As you can see from some of these images, some phenomenal art by Rena Chadi, colors by Angel RD, written by me, Dave Schweitzer. Check it out on the TikTok shop today and get yourself a copy. One thing that I find really fun in the series, J. Jonah Jameson is voiced by Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer's father from the classic animation. I don't remember if that's those people, Bashki and what is it? They may have had something to do with this. I can't remember about that. But yeah, that's kind of fun. I remember listening to that and being like, wait a minute, this sounds really familiar. And then being like, oh my God. So that's worthwhile. So it's pretty basic for Spider-Man. Like I say, he works at the Daily Bugle. I don't even think you see Aunt May too often. You probably do see her. But a lot of it is time as Spider-Man, a lot of him fighting just petty crooks or magical goblin demons or whatever, and occasionally in the beginning, his actual rogues gallery. It ran for about 3-4 years, and I think like all in all, there's 52 fully restored episodes. That's a decent amount for a kids cartoon back then. And I think it would be a little while before we get another Spider-Man cartoon. And even though I think this had to have been relatively successful because it's always re-airing at the time. You know, it started 5 years after Spider-Man premiered, which I think is pretty crazy because 5 years into a creation to already get a TV show and stuff like that, that's pretty big. So if you can find these, I really do recommend them. Like I said, they are that 60s vibe. They're very good, almost adaptation of some of the Stan Lee, Steve Ditko comics. Like I said, some literally are loose adaptations and others just, you know, have that feel and the vibe of it. So if you can find this, oh, this is funny. On the back it says, featuring Web-Slinger's greatest foes, including Dr. Octopus, yes. The Green Goblin, yes. Mysterio, yes. The Rhino, yes. Dr. Magneto. And I don't think that's Magneto. I think that might be somebody else, which is funny. I don't know why we haven't seen Spider-Man fight Dr. Magneto yet, but hopefully one day soon he'll be fighting Dr. Magneto. Not Ian McKellen, Dr. Magneto. So check this out. Check out my other videos on Stan Lee's Spider-Man. We'll keep this going. We'll talk about the 70s stuff and so forth. And I really appreciate you watching it.